What is up, everyone? Woosa. This is Tea Time with Robyn. I am T. She is Robyn. What is up, everyone? I hope everyone is feeling well and feeling great on this Thursday. What's up, Robyn? How you doing?
Good. Just mighty fine. How about yourself?
I'm good. It's another day to talk Buffalo Bills with you, so I'm always excited about that.
Yay!
For sure. So let's get into it. The Bills had a game and they kind of won this game. It's preseason, I don't know if I take the preseason oath or whatever, but I don't really get too up and too down. The first game they lost and everybody was up in arms and saying that our season was over. And then we win this game and everybody's kind of like, okay, so you can't win when it comes to this stuff. But our defense came out and they definitely set a tone. They definitely set a tone. I think they heard what Sean McDermott said about the standard being the standard. And when you wear that red, white, and blue, the standard is the standard. So what's your thoughts, Robyn?
The standard is the standard. Wasn't that Keon Coleman that was reciting that in a press conference? The standard is the standard. Yes, the defense set the tone. And we're going to talk about some players that we can highlight. But just as a whole, the defense came out Bobby in the box. Because I'm telling you, Bobby in the box is working. He's seeing from up above, and I like the way that he responds quickly.
Mm-hmm.
The defense looks sharp. They're on top of things. What you want to see, in my opinion, in the preseason is who cares about the scores? We're out there trying to see what players can do. This is a team with a bunch of new players. They got to see who fits where. And so putting a game plan together or giving a rat's butt about the score, no, I don't care about that. What I care about is progress.
Right.
And what do you see that you saw wrong with the first game? Are you seeing the same mistakes in the next game? Because that's not what you want to see. You want to see all the stuff that happened in the first game to be cleaned up in the second game. And I thought by and large, for the most part, was in the second game cleaned up. Yeah. There were some things. I'm still not too happy with some of the penalties that are being called. I think that we can do a better job cutting those back again. That seems like it's always a harping thing that we talk about. But overall, I thought the game showed, well, like you said, the defense set the tone, like right from the get-go. Ba-boom, ba-boom. And that was a good thing. The offense was kind of hard to judge. We'll get into the details of that. Mm-hmm. But overall, I thought there was progress made. So
everybody was on the same page, it seemed like.
Yeah.
And the key word last week was definitely standard. And I think that he drilled that into that locker room you can score no points, but you can't come out sloppy like that with these pre-snap and penalties and the emotion. Like, it's just, you can't come out looking like a hot mess the way they did. Sean McDermott, if he could, he would have smoke coming out of his ears when he was just so pissed off. And you understood it. You definitely understood it. I lost my notes here. I forgot what's the second thing. Oh, we're going to highlight some players. Some players that was highlighted. Groot came out on fire.
Girl.
I think it was the first or second snap, and he was just on it.
Is going to be a problem.
Stay healthy, Groot, please.
Please stay healthy, Groot, because you look beastly.
Did it seem like he bulked up a little bit, or is it just me?
No. I think his upper body.
Oh my God.
Is so strong. He
was an oppressor, Robyn, in his arms. And I'm like, are those legs? Like,
Yeah, really.
It's
The
just,
other thing I liked about what I saw from him was something reminiscent of Bruce Smith. He doesn't try to destroy people. You'll see him almost like pull up when he's going to sack someone. He doesn't want to hurt them.
mm-hmm.
And Bruce was always that way too. He was never in the business of hurting a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about that many times over the years. And I see that same consideration with Groot. And I think it's a good thing too, because especially now, if you're even get a whiff of being overly aggressive, you're going to get a flag.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so he's mindful of that. And I think that's an important thing. But oh man.
Yeah. He looked
Who
good.
else
Teron.
you got?
Are we definitely going to talk about the hometown boy? But let's talk about Teron Johnson. He played well.
Mm,
The guy behind him, Daquan Hardy, right,
yes.
is a baller. When they were saying him, he's a punt returner and he's also a cornerback. I'm like, okay, versatility. They love that. First of all, he had a great play on Pickens. Great play,
Pickens, yeah,
Pickens. Great play on him. I don't know why he wouldn't make the team. You know,
for sure. He's too valuable. He's like the Swiss Army knife.
right,
And
for
he's
sure.
little, which
Yeah,
it's kind of surprising that he can be a boundary corner
right.
and play like he's playing.
He's
Playing.
5'8", 195, I want to say.
Yeah, he's little.
Yeah,
Boundary corner, that's like, whoa.
yeah,
But he holds his own.
he
And
does.
and yeah, there's no way I would be shocked. There's no way they could put him on the practice squad. No.
No, oh no. He's going to be plucked. And then speaking about, now we're going to go to the guy that cannot be on the practice squad, I don't think, because not even that, just injuries alone. Before Matt Milano went down, I didn't think of Joey Andresa, or whatever how you pronounce it, my apologies, to crack the 53. I did not think he showed up, and not just because he got put in Bernard's position, right? So he was calling the mic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wow, that's some shoes to fill, even though it's still preseason. We understand that. But this guy had 12 tackles, a tackle for a loss. Like, he came out with just like, I have nothing to lose. I'm just going to play.
Smoking.
Yeah.
All over the place. And the thing that you can't teach, you could see his brain working on the field.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
instinctive. And we talked about this pre-production. Excuse me. I wish Dorian had the same instincts.
Yeah.
Because Dorian, we'll talk about Dorian in a bit. Dorian's doing well, but he's not as instinctive. This kid, and I'm just going to say, he's UB. He's not even just a local boy. He's UB. So he came from not a top tier program, and he just walked on, and all he did was ball out from OTAs on.
Yeah.
And everybody, even Josh Allen, has said, well, this kid is like his story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coming out of nowhere, nobody expects anything. So we asked the question, can he duplicate it? Was this just a great game and a one-off? I don't think so. Because if you watched him, he shed blockers. He was technically very sound in his performance. And played all 4 quarters.
Yes.
He played, he was, probably his tongue was hanging out by the end of that game. I can't imagine it wasn't, but he was probably flying so high. But what a great story though, too, for a hometown kid, right? Like West
Still living with his mom and dad.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Something we always have a story coming out of preseason, right? We have a story coming out of preseason, and
He's the story.
he's the story. He came in again, like I said, nothing to lose. Started a game against the starters. He was next to Dorian against the Pittsburgh starters. I didn't think it was going to be him. I thought it was going to be Jones as a
Deion.
linebacker. Deion Jones come in, and it wasn't. It was him. So
They gave him the shot.
they gave him
And
a
all he
shot.
did was ball out.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the next game will tell
Yes.
what he can do because, like Bobby Babbage said, is being consistent. And if he's consistent, he has a shot.
Yes.
I just
And
don't
I
see
don't
him.
worry as much because I have always been a little concerned about Terrell Bernard only because of his size, not because of his toughness, but he gets beat up pretty good.
Yeah.
And Andreessen isn't much bigger, but if you have to fall back on him, I don't think the drop off is going to be as horrible as I thought it might be. At one point. But I thought it was interesting, and I wanted to ask you this: what do you make of the fact that Bernard didn't even play? I mean, like they said,
I think they just trying to be a precaution when right now
linebacker.
because they don't have they don't have a lot back there, so it's just like nah, I don't want to play him.
He's valuable. He's too valuable.
Yeah, he's
At this
definitely too
point, without
valuable.
Milano, oh my God, yes, he's too valuable.
People were saying that Andreessen looks like Milano, a little, because it's the same body type. They're like people were like, "Oh, I thought that was Milano out there." No, the second coming of Milano. Listen, I'm gonna pump my brakes. I want to see what he looks like against the Panthers, and I don't know. And we said this before we got on. We don't know if the Panther starters are starting the next game, but I still want to see how he looks in a game, a live game. All reps are great reps. So
let's go.
So yeah, let's go. Let's talk about it. We talked about you mentioned penalties, and this time they had 8. They didn't have 11, they had 8. Still a lot, but not some of these penalties was not like who did we play first? Pittsburgh's penalties. No, not Pittsburgh. The Bears. The Bears they just look sloppy. They didn't look sloppy against Pittsburgh.
No. It was
like some mental hiccups for sure, but yeah, it didn't look sloppy at all. I can say this about when it comes to Sean McDermott and his team. If he does something one time, best believe it will be straightened up the next time. Right? You won't beat him the same way twice. I'll say that. And so the penalties were cut down by 3. It's preseason, hopefully by our live games, our real games, it'll be cut down. But let's talk about the real guys in this game. A running back room, the offense side of the ball.
Yeah, let's do it.
The running backs.
Well, we got a stable full of them as far as I'm concerned. And James Cook, everybody's like going nuts about James.
I know.
Just slow down. James is going to be fine. James is James. We hope that he has stickier hands and that he hangs on to the ball. But beyond that concern, I don't worry about him at all. But I'm telling you, Ray Davis, girl, you and I both have the same feeling about him, which is like, wow.
He flashes.
And I love that he's wearing Freddie Jackson's old number. I do
too. I had a problem with it at first because I love Fred Jackson.
Yeah, me too.
He's the guy. He's the guy. But yeah, I just love everything about Ray Davis. When he was picked, I'm like, that's my guy. Again, backstory alone sold me. I love Ray Davis' backstory. So, I mean, the fact that it comes together, his story and who he is comes together. Like this guy, his balance when he gets hit, like his vision, he's really a good, solid running back. Something like him we haven't had in a while. Like maybe Fred Jackson. I mean,
It's been a long time.
it's been a minute. I'm not going to say Shady McCoy because Shady McCoy was good too. I'm talking about rookies. We didn't have
Right.
we didn't have him. Yeah,
Homegrown.
right. Could mold him.
Mhm.
I like the fact that he can pick up a blitz, and he picked up one in that Steelers game. I just the little things I think for me is what I'm loving about Ray Davis.
Mhm. Mhm. And this is just like the beginning, right?
Yeah,
Like, and I expect him to play a lot.
I do too.
I expect him to play a lot, but we'll go through the whole room too because I think Frank Gore Jr. showed up.
Yeah, I think all of the running backs
They're
had
solid.
yeah, they were solid.
Solid. I got no problem at all with that part of the offense whatsoever. Now, don't even get me started about Mitch Trubisky.
Go ahead, start because I don't know. I don't know if I had any words.
You don't
I
have
don't know
any
if I don't.
words. I know. It's like, what happened to Mitch? This guy was like what, the second overall pick in his draft, and he had this great rookie year, and then he just boom.
Felt like fall the grace is hard.
Oh, and I know Joe Brady was, Mitch wishes he had that, that pass back or whatever. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, he probably does, but why did he throw it in the first place? So his decision making it boggles my mind that somebody with his veteran experience
I
and at
know.
this point in his career is so horrible at looking. There were guys that were wide open.
He had James Cook in the
Yes,
flat.
yes,
He
that
could have
was
just threw it. I'm like, throw it. I'm screaming at my TV like it's a real game, like it's a regular season game. I'm like, throw James, and then he get a sack, and I'm just like.
So, I mean, we got a problem beyond. We got to hope Josh stays upright. So Mitch is out blissfully for a month or so.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we got two guys that, I mean, Anthony Brown, I know virtually nothing about.
I mean, he had a good game against the Bengals regular season. He's wearing number 5, and I'm like, oh my God, Tyrod. I mean, I'm sorry. Like it just
was playing quarterback.
it took me back. I was like, wait a minute, is that Tyrod? And no. And then we got who did we get? DiNucci?
Yeah, Ben DiNucci.
Ben DiNucci.
He played all right for somebody that only had a few days to look at.
Right. And that's why I'm saying our running back room was great because, I mean, he handed the ball off. So, I mean, what do you expect for him to do when he just got in? So, and when it comes to this game, and we're going to talk about things that we might be excited to see in this game. And it's maybe for me, it might be the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But I have a question. So, Josh Allen hasn't played a lot in this upcoming preseason, or this preseason game. He hasn't really had a connection in preseason with Keon Coleman. He had 3 passes in this game, no real connection. How concerned are you about live action when it comes to Josh Allen and Keon Coleman?
I'm not.
Okay.
And I think because for one thing, I don't think they're going to put a whole lot on Keon's plate early in the season. I think this is Dalton Kincaid's offense with Josh. And am I concerned?
And Shakir?
Oh, totally. Shakir. He's another one that's, excuse me, under the radar big time.
I love it too, but I love it.
Keep it that way. He had the highest percentage accurate catch rate in the NFL last year.
Yeah.
And people are not talking about him at all, which is
I'm
fine.
glad.
I'm glad. Hi, Chris.
Hey,
welcome.
Chris.
Oh, it's good to see you.
For sure.
So Josh not playing. I wish he would be able to play a little bit more. I'm sure he wishes he could play. one side note about Josh that I don't know what this was all about, but John Worrow had a post on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
the other day, and he said that he was impressed, I think was the word that he used, and I'm paraphrasing, that Josh had his press conference in light of the fact that he just lost his grandfather.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know. I never heard another word about it. I didn't go back to look and see if he deleted it, but what I wonder, because John Worrow is like esteemed. He doesn't
Right.
say
Just
stuff.
say stuff just to say it. Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh,
And
wow.
he's yes. And so he said this and he tweeted it. And then I saw nothing, heard nothing, 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 nothing. And so what I wonder is if Josh, because we remember what happened when his grandmother died,
Mhm.
that's how there was this, we ended up with the Patricia Allen Fund.
Right.
And,
Mhm.
there was a big deal made out of it. And I'm
It was a
wondering,
tough game too. I remember that game because
yes.
it Dable was here and
Hmm.
he had asked Josh if he wanted to play because him and his grandmother was so close.
Right. And
And
I
he
don't
was
know
like,
which grandfather, by the way, he didn't say, like, if it was
right,
Patricia Allen's husband or
right,
on
right.
the other side of the family. But here's the thing. It makes me wonder because this was like not talked about. Hi, Robbie.
Hey, Robyn.
Um, it wasn't talked about by anybody else. Leads me to believe that Josh said, you know what? I really want to keep this on the lowdown.
Hmm. And I don't even know how the grandmother situation came out and how we found out because it's been so long ago, but you could tell when it happened. That game was emotional because I want to say something happened in that game that Josh cried. I can't remember, but it was a very emotional game, and you're right. And that's how we got the Patricia
Allen Fund
wing.
and
Yeah,
Children's Hospital
right.
benefited so much from that. And I guess my point in all of this is just saying, okay, so Josh has another thing on his head
Hmm.
that maybe he decided, and all he would have had to done is say to Bean, like, really, I don't want to make a deal out of this. Can
Yeah,
we just
that's
keep this,
it.
out of the papers and whatnot? Um, because nobody else has mentioned it. I found that like incredulous.
Yeah.
So maybe John just said it or tweeted it and then deleted. I don't know if he
Hmm.
deleted it or not, but the fact that we heard nothing else about that was kind of interesting. But what it also said to me is, and I believe this would be Josh, I want to focus on football,
Right. Yeah.
right? I don't want all this other stuff. There'll be plenty of time to do that stuff in the off season or whatever. I just want to focus on football. Uh,
Absolutely.
so he has that, going too. As far as his chemistry, back to long and winded way back to Keon Coleman and Josh, they do have chemistry they need to establish.
Hmm.
There's no question about that. And Keon needs to establish chemistry with everybody. But in fairness to Keon, if you've got Mitch Trubisky throwing you the kind of balls that he threw in the end zone that could have gotten Keon killed, uh, should Keon have caught that ball? Yeah, he could have caught that ball.
They say
Maybe.
hands. If you touch the ball, you should catch the ball.
Oh, fine. But the way that ball went through the air, it was a crazy throw. And he's setting his people up to get killed.
Not
So,
not just Keon. The ball he
oh,
threw to
everyone. Who
Mac
else was it?
Hollins.
Yes.
Like, are you trying to kill your own players?
Yes.
Like he does. It's
I
I don't
can't
know. It's
I
I
can't
just
go there. But yes, I do
Mitch
have,
is holding the ball too long for me. It's just whatever. But sorry, go ahead.
it's going to take a minute in the Arizona game for Josh to get settled because he'll get in his rhythm. Because the good thing about Josh now is he really is a grizzled veteran. So
Hmm.
he knows what he needs to do. And I think the yips are pretty much gone because,
Hmm.
he'll get excited and stuff now. I think the yips if he makes it to the Super Bowl, they could make an appearance. So we would have to be on top of that.
Oh yeah,
But
for sure.
short
For
of
sure.
that, I think that he's mostly past that part of the mental thing. So I think once he gets into a rhythm in the game, he'll be okay. But I think he's going to be rusty as a whole.
Yeah. No, I think so too. I mean, for people, I hope you're not expecting
too much.
a lot, because I think the first quarter is going to be us as fans. What the hell? What is going on? We're going to be so that's what we
It's
do
the
as
Arizona
fans.
Cardinals. It's not a team the Bills play very often.
Right. And don't sleep on them, because they revamped. I'm doing study right now on the Cardinals, and they got Kyler what's the name? Oh my God, Kyler Murray. Kyle Murray. And he's a little, the man can book. I hate quarterbacks like that. He's just a little guy that could just be everywhere.
He can book, but I would put him in the same category as Tua.
Oh, okay.
Right. not the most talented, certainly not top tier.
Right,
I'm afraid of mobility, but I'm not afraid of his brain.
Right. Or even he has an okay arm. I'll say that.
Yeah,
for sure.
it's all right.
Yeah. But you got me segueing over here, so let's go to it. Let's go to spilling the tea.
For me, come on, just spill that. Come on, just spill that. Spill that tea for me. Spare no dirty tea. Yeah, tell me everything. Come on, just spill that.
What's up? It's Spill the Tea. I was
spill first.
I was just getting an alert. Okay, hold on. Oh, I'll read it in a minute. Something about injuries. Jesus Christ. Okay, my Spill the Tea. You were talking about Josh Allen and everything's being on his plate. I don't know what is this Josh Allen season, like let's dump on Josh Allen. But I think I sent it to you, and I think I want to play it. Did I send it in a text? I think I did. Let me just see. Let me find it. I should have been, sometimes it's not ready.
Stuff happens.
It does. I didn't spill it. I didn't send it to you in a text. But anyway, so there was a Houston against, who were they playing? I forgot. Doesn't matter. They were playing someone. And the commentator, and I want to say it might have been Derek Carr, and if it's not Derek Carr, I apologize, but had the audacity to say if he threw the ball to the middle of the field, the guy caught it, then he goes on and says, great throw by CJ Stroud. Josh Allen would have never put it there. Are you kidding me? Have you seen the Buffalo Bills games? Josh Allen has thrown Stephon Diggs balls all through this freaking field. Like, I just don't understand why we need to continue to dump on Josh Allen. They are no longer together, and it's fine. He is doing his thing over there in Houston. Josh is over here focused on what he needs to focus on with his wide receivers. He doesn't care what he's doing over there. You don't need to take shots to make yourself feel good about this guy over here in Houston, okay? Like, stop.
Mm-hmm.
They're no longer together, and it's fine.
Something about Derek Carr. And was it Derek or was it David Carr? Because I can't
even... David Carr. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, David Carr. Derek Carr is still playing.
Right. David Carr, a first overall pick when he was drafted, who absolutely never materialized to his potential.
Never.
And I believe he suffers from envy.
You think?
I do. I really do. I think he envies Josh Allen's physical talent. And I think that some of Josh's naysayers, if you will, some of them are jealous because he has this incredible ability.
Okay.
And what I find interesting about that, though, is think about this. They don't talk about Patrick Mahomes the same way.
Thank you, Robyn.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And I think I get it because Patrick Mahomes is a Super Bowl champ. He's also won Super Bowls. I get it. But when you say he's a top 5, when you say Josh is maybe top 5, top 3, whatever you want to put him, and you still disrespect, well, he hasn't. I found it. I want to play it now.
Read it.
It pissed me off. Here we go.
Good.
Rip, and that's really tough for a young dude to handle. On 3rd and 2, what strike. Fits it in perfectly, and Stephon Diggs announcing his arrival to the Houston crowd. Kevin, this Wednesday in practice, you'll see this just get inside your DB and CJ will hit you. I don't know if Josh Allen would have, but CJ will put that ball right on the number. But
I don't know if Josh Allen would have. Oh.
Stop. Okay. That's all I'm just saying. Just stop. You can have your takes, but you don't need to down someone to have a take. Okay.
Yeah, and it's not a good look.
It's not a good look.
It's not a good look.
Yeah, so that's my spill the tea.
All right, I'm gonna spill the tea. And my spill the tea today is about, I don't know why I always end up talking about Tua. People are going to start thinking I have this thing for Tua. I don't have a thing for Tua, but Tua mentioned something this week that caught a lot of people off guard with some very stinging comments about Brian Flores. When Brian Flores was his head coach, he spoke, and I'm paraphrasing, but Tua essentially said that Brian would come after him and berate him, telling him he was no good and that he wasn't the quarterback that he wanted, and on and on and on and on and on. And that was 2 years, 3 years after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how long? McDaniels is what, going into his 3rd or 4th year? I can't remember which. But okay, what prompted Tua to go like off the rails about Brian Flores? I thought that was kind of interesting in terms of timing. So what it brings up is this transition that we seem to be in professional football and sports as a whole in terms of coaching and how you coach players. Are you a hard ass, or are you somebody who is what they call a player's coach, right? Somebody that's very nice and tries to build you up instead of tearing you down. So I thought the timing was kind of interesting in what Tua said.
Right.
And everybody jumped all over Brian Flores, and everybody said, "Oh, Brian's such an asshole, blah, 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 blah." And I want to read to you a direct quote from Brian Flores after he responded to what Tua said. Brian says, "Look, I'm human. So that hit me in a way that wasn't positive for me. But at the same time, I've got to use that to say, hey, how can I grow from that? How can I be better?" And that's really where I'm at from that standpoint. Do I feel like that's me? No. But how can I grow from a situation and create a world where that's not the case, that anyone says that about Brian Flores? Talk to me.
I'm a sports mom.
Yeah.
And we kind of spoke about this off mic. I want my kids to be coached hard. I do. I don't want my kids to be belittled or berated, but I want my kids to be coached hard. I want you to bring out the best in my child. Now there's a thin line, I think, when it comes to Flores and Tua. I don't personally know Tua. I personally don't know Tua, so let me just say that. But what I'm seeing, right, and everybody takes their shots at a person on the outside. Like, what would I see this person? So what I'm seeing when it comes to Tua, I don't know if I'm not coddling him or nothing like that. I don't know if Tua can handle a person saying being hard on him as a coach, right? Nick Saban, is Nick Saban a hard coach?
Mm-hmm.
He probably is. Is he like Brian Flores? Probably not. But he wasn't the only one in Miami that said Brian Flores, that players had problems with Brian Flores and the way he coached. But I also heard that other players said, I want to be coached that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's just a balance in knowing your players.
It is. And the only thing I can add to that was very well put. I think the only thing I can add to that is something that I used to talk about a lot in therapy. And that is that you can be a disciplinarian. You can be a hard ass, like you say, but you have to focusing on the behavior that you want to change.
Mm-hmm.
That was a horrible throw. That throw sucked. I
Right.
just really thought the way that ball came out of your hands was horrible. And I don't understand why you can't blah, 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 blah. You can do that. When you attack the person,
Yeah, personality. Yeah.
it's the person versus the behavior.
Yeah.
And what you want to stay away from, I think, as a coach and as a human being, I think, is, and I see this all the time on social media, attack someone's argument, attack somebody, somebody's behavior, but don't attack their personhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
And therein lies the difference. And I do think that coaches are coaching somewhat differently than they used to.
Yeah.
There are fewer Bill Parcells out there. There's still people around.
I also think that Brian Dable is a person that coaches hard.
Yes.
He pulled when Josh in the Patriots game, he threw, I think, 3 interceptions or 2 or something like that. And he got in his face. And I personally, I'm sorry. I like that. I like you. I want my coach. I want my son. I don't know about my daughter, maybe because it's a girl, and I'm sorry, but it's also too, it depends on how you're speaking to kids. So,
yes, but you can be a hard ass without being an asshole.
Great point. I like that for sure. So I also thought that maybe it's over and done with. Why are we talking about this now? Like, Tua, you have your contract. Like, Tua's walking around with his balls to the ground right now. So why are we? Maybe it's this. Maybe he did that to say to him, "See, I got my money. I'm a better player. You said I wasn't going to be nothing, but you don't even have to say that to say anything. Just let your play show." I mean,
that's just not something, in all honesty, could you ever imagine Josh Allen saying anything like that?
Josh is getting berated, though. Like, Robyn, every time you go on X or go on any social media platform, you will see someone say, out of the sports media, say something crazy about Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Josh can fit it there. Like, are you kidding me? You just wanted to say something. You know damn well you have seen Josh throw that pass to Diggs. He did it actually against freaking Detroit when we needed to win the goddamn game. Like, stop. And they're not going to, because it makes clicks. And us as Bills fans, what I'm doing right now, talking about it.
Yes, absolutely.
So, it's so tiring to hear what Josh can't do without that certain person. And I'm pretty sure if I'm tired of hearing about it, and I know he's tired of hearing about it, So let's talk about some good news. I mean, Bass is 5 of 5 this preseason. He kicked 3, made 3. Yesterday wasn't great.
Yesterday he missed 3 in practice. So
then I have a question for you, Robyn. Are we as Bills fans just now focused on the fact that he missed that kick, and now we're just like keen? Oh,
we're putting the mental pressure on him, making it worse. I mean, the bottom line is,
I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I just don't want it. I don't. I'm sorry.
It's not productive.
It's not. The man shot. Let's just say that. Let's just be honest. He got the yips, and I guess that's a thing. And maybe he needs to sit down and talk to somebody. If he's not, I'm pretty sure they are.
Oh,
If
yeah.
I know Sean McDermott, I know he's like, go sit down with someone.
You got to talk this out, son.
Yeah, and it's the only thing that's going to get it better is just kicking. That's it.
Keep
And
going.
we have to be patient. And I don't know.
We have to
Right
stop.
now, we have to be patient now.
I get it. You know, those of us that are old enough from the 90s, you know, wide right, that
Yeah. Maybe don't do wide right.
it's a
Maybe do wide
traumatic
left.
thing.
It is.
It's a traumatic thing.
I don't want to have to worry about my kicker going into the season. That's just it. Something I noticed when when the Bills were playing the Steelers is that an old lineman had a protected helmet on. Yeah, he had one of those
Big
Guardian.
Yeah.
But it wasn't white. It was the color of their helmets.
Oh, wow.
So they are allowing linemen to play with those now, which is, I think it's great. I mean, it might be heavy.
I hope
for
those things are light, because man, if they weigh anything at all, that my neck hurts just thinking about
it. Right.
Okay.
I know we wanted to talk about what we seen last week with Keon Coleman and Shakir going the Mac Hollins way in Pittsburgh of wearing no shoes. Teamwork makes the dream work, I guess. What's your thoughts, Robyn?
My first thought is, I hope every one of them is caught up on their tetanus shots. Because I'm Nurse Ratched, and that's always what, goes through my mind. But truly, I listened to Mac talk about why he does it. And some of his reasoning, I think, is very interesting, because he talks about how having bare feet makes your legs and your feet and your muscles have to respond differently than if you're in shoes. And he thinks that it reduces the likelihood of getting injuries. I have no idea whether there's any scientific basis for that at all. And I think it's all that's very interesting to me. Very interesting to me. However, what I worry about, in all honesty, is what if you step on something? If you get a foot infection and can't play, and I know they keep the fields fairly clear and so on, but you never know, because they're talking about they're walking out of the locker room like this and walking around all over the place like this. No.
I mean, I think they did it because of his cause.
Yes.
He has
foundation.
Yeah. So, which is, I mean, I'll say this. I like it because the team is bonding together.
Yes, I like that.
I like that. So I was like, why are they walking barefooted? And then I seen Shakir. Right. I seen Shakir had his shirt on, Holland's shirt on, and I seen Mac Hollins had his shirt on. So am I calling him Mac again? I'm
Mac
sorry.
Is right.
Oh, is it Mac? Okay, Mac. I was calling him Matt. My bad, Mac. I like it. I do. I like it.
I'm good with it. Whatever causes the team to continue to gel and bond, whatever. I'm good with it. Just be careful.
Yeah.
Nurse Ratched says, just be careful.
Yes. I like it. Let's move on to our next game against the Carolina Panthers. I got this.
You're having a
mix
day.
Those two. I am having a day. Like, oh my God. So no starters. They said no starters will be playing.
I'm good
with it. It's kids' game. No starters. It's the last game. I'm good with it. I just wish that maybe that Pittsburgh game Josh would have played. Totally understand why he didn't play, because of the rain itself. So, whatever. It's the last game. Going into this game, what can you get from this game? Who do you want to see from this game? Is there anything in particular that, like, you're like, okay, I want to see the line stand out? What?
Dorian Williams.
Okay.
I want to see Dorian continue to make progress. The issue with Dorian is coverage. And so what we want to see again is from the first to the second to the third game that he's starting to show some awareness. It's amazing to me, we talked about this before, but it's amazing to me when you look at Andreessen with far less experience, seems to be more instinctive that way than Dorian Williams is. But, and I'm not dogging on Dorian at all, because Dorian can be a player. He's a dog. He hits hard, and against the run, he's awesome. It's coverage I worry about. He's not instinctive like Matt Milano is.
Right.
But don't talk about Matt like it's in the past.
Yeah.
But I think that, in fairness, and I've said this before about Dorian Williams, he came from Tulane and he came from a system that was very unlike Sean McDermott's defensive scheme. And so what's asked of him is different now, and it's taken him a while to learn that. Whereas Matt Milano came from Boston College, and he came from a program that had a 4-2-5, just like McDermott's scheme.
Right.
Well, it was easier for him to make that transition. But I'm going to be watching Dorian because I need to see that he's moving along. That's what I'm.
His issue is coverage. It's just, and like second year, going into his second year, and we expect every year for you to make progress. And towards the end of the season, he was making some. So now we need for him to speed up his progress because of injuries. And speaking of injuries, the Bills are dealing with a bunch of injuries. But I just received something saying that Samuel and MVS will be ready to go for the Cardinals game. So that's exciting. Glad to hear that. But I want to say Hill is in protocol, concussion protocol. And Tyron Hill.
Oh, Casey Tuhill.
Yes. And then Teron Johnson is dealing with a quad injury, so he won't play at all. And it was just a precaution, he said. But he'll be ready for the freaking
Taron he's a
dog. He's a dog. So when asked about injuries, Sean McDermott said it affects a lot of things. It affects practice. It affects the games, the game this week, potentially affects the start of the season. A lot of these potentially affects the start of the season for a lot of these positions. But I mean, the good news is that some of these players are coming back, and we signed a quarterback, Anthony Brown. Love the signing. Love his. I went back and watched some of his tape. He's kind of what the Bills need as a mobile quarterback.
Gotcha.
You know,
so he has a style similar to Josh's, so Joe Brady wouldn't have to necessarily tweak the game plan.
Right. Yeah,
that's an advantage. That's definitely
for sure. It's not something like Danucci is his name. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's not like, because in that game I didn't really see Danucci really running, and I don't want to really critique him because he only had the playbook for a day. So but I mean I like now that I hear this news when it comes to Samuel and MVS. I'm liking it. And then the cut down is August 27th. So once the last game hits, then you go over your guys and see what they can do, and then you cut. So, and then if you cut, then you can see what everybody else has, and then maybe you make your roster up or your practice squad up from there. So, anything else?
No, you covered everything so beautifully.
We did. So, those are the things that we're looking for when it comes to this last preseason game. I'm just happy it's over, to be quite honest with you.
Bring on the season, please.
I bring on the season. I'm just over hearing about injuries. I'm over, damn it. I was so excited to see what Milano and Terrell Bernard was going to bring to this defense, so
we'll see.
Yeah, but I am happy to see group step up.
Oh, Groot.
I do have a question for you. AJ Epinesa. We're not
Mhm.
really hearing too much.
Did you read my mind? Because I was thinking about that before I was writing my notes down. I was thinking AJ has been kind of MIA, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He
Well,
needs
I
to
mean,
get
I'll take it
back.
as he's taking this preseason off.
Maybe
Mm.
MVS is too. You know, he didn't look so hot in the preseason either. But
No.
we'll see.
And also, too, no touchdowns.
Yes, I was going to bring that up. That does concern me that we haven't been able to punch it in. Backups, no backups, whatever, starters. Let's have a touchdown before the season starts.
Like
Just
that's
saying.
gonna be on a bingo card.
Yeah.
What team didn't have a touchdown in preseason? Ding 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 ding. The Buffalo Bills. Yeah, trash. They're
No,
trash.
and I don't want it.
I don't want that to be a trivia question for the
No.
preseason. I don't.
Let's not make
So let's punch that in on Saturday, please. So it's Saturday at 1. Is it 1 o'clock? Yeah, 1 o'clock. At I was gonna say the Ralph, but it's not the Ralph. It's at Highmark Stadium against the Carolina Panthers. We thank you guys for tuning in. And if you can, please go to the YouTube channel, Not Your Average Podcast, because it's just network. Go over there and punch that like and subscribe to the channel. You'll get all the updates from me and Robyn. You'll see our pretty faces and you'll get updates. But thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be back here again, same time, same place next week on this channel. And like I said, always, Robyn, it's always a pleasure. And I love you.
You
And it's always
go Bills.
Go Bills. Peace, y'all.